sticks.
What club was that at?
That was.
Admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
With the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again.
Actually, Black Friday was a slave market. Even the after Christmas sale is a slave market. So now we over here we are partaking in breaking God's Sabbath because a lot of all them Christmas sales and Black Friday, that's going into breaking God's Sabbath day. Because we shouldn't be doing that. They're celebrating the fact that they put you guys in slavery. His greatest people on the planet. So we should not be celebrating. So now we gotta return back to God. And the same people that changed our nationalities, that's what we are against. Why? Because they're teaching us false doctrines in the black community. They're teaching us false gods in the black community. Christmas. Hey, say, bro, what's your name, sir? What's your name? Greg. Nice to meet you. Hey, come around this way. Come around this way. So, I'm gonna show you something real quick. What's your nationality, bro? What's your nationality according to the Bible? Black America. Black America. Okay, now I want you to take a look at this sign over here. You see the sign? You see the sign right here? So now, locate your nationality. So this on this side in the white bold letters is what God calls our people in the Bible, right? But God prophesied because of sin. We see the slavery that happened to us. In slavery, they actually changed our nationalities to the ones you see on my left, right? So which one would you be according to the God? Black America, all praises. And now, I'm going to show you how we know that you're an Israelite. Give me Deuteronomy 28. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Why do you think God allowed us to go through slavery as a people?
It would really show people what really happened.
Like, what do you mean? What's really happening? What do you mean by that?
Black brothers should be out doing what they're doing.
Right. Okay, now, I'm going to show you, according to God, why he allowed us to go through slavery. Read. Verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So God gave us commandments to the prophet Moses. And he said, listen, if we don't hearken to hear and listen and obey his commandments, read on.
That all these curses.
Is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? Curses has always been a bad thing, right? So God says, because you don't keep my commandments, I'm going to allow bad things to happen to you, right? So now you said you were black African American, right? Now I'm going to show you that's actually a curse that was put upon our people for disobedience. Verse 37.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
So it says we shall become an astonishment. An astonishment is a great surprise, right? Read on.
A proverb.
A proverb is a wise saying. Like, for instance, the wise saying that they have on our people is derogatory, it's disrespectful, it's a reproach, but it's true. Like, for instance, you want to hide something from a Negro, what would you do? If you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a what? Put it in the book, right? Why? Because Negroes don't like to read. That's a proverb. That's a derogatory wise saying to disrespect God's chosen people. God says that's actually a curse, that we will become an astonishment and a proverb. Read on.
And a byword.
A byword is being called a name outside of your God-given name. Your God-given name is that you are the tribe of Judah from the nation of Israel. But in slavery, they changed your name to African American or American black. That's a sign of a curse. We were actually taught by our oppressors to call ourselves outside of God's given name. God, the name God gave us. Read on.
Among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
Why it said the Lord shall lead thee? Because we actually broke God's commandments, and God allowed this another nation of people to put us through slavery. You see them slave ships right there? So what we are doing, we are establishing that your history is actually in the Bible. But this is the history of the true Israelites, the true Jews. Because the other people that's calling themselves Jews, the so-called white man, their history does not line up with the Jews. What we're doing, we're establishing that your history, your life is actually in this book. Give me verse 68. So now you see this slave ship right here, right? What nation of people went on that? Black people, right? Now what we're finna do, I'm finna show you in the Bible that that is actually biblical prophecy. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So it says God will bring thee into Egypt. Egypt is synonymous to bondage. What's going on, sir? How you doing? What's your name, bro? Joseph. What's your name, sis? Jamina. Okay, so now y'all seen this, y'all seen slave ships before, right? Did y'all ever hear about that scripture in the Bible about slave ships? All right, now we're finna read it to you. Read this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So it says Egypt, right? So the Israelites were slaves in Egypt. So he's saying, I'm going to bring you back to that same status of slavery in Egypt by what? By what way?
With ships.
By what?
With ships.
Look at this sign right here. What nation of people went on slave ships? Look at that sign right there. What nation of people does this fit? Black people, right? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, right?
That's right.
When we're reading our history and we're establishing our true nationality based off the bad things that happened to the Israelites, right? Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Exactly the way Moses is telling us this is going to happen to us. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Say, sir, what is our homeland as a people? Supposed to be America. Okay, so that's what. So black people, we originated in America. That's what you're saying? So where did we originate from? Okay, so now Africa is a continent. What country in Africa do we come from? Galatians 4:26. Because it said after we get on the slave ships, we'll never see our homeland again as a people. Sis, where's our homeland at? You don't know. Okay, where do you think our homeland is, sir? You said Africa? Okay, so now we gotta get more distinctive of where in Africa. Where do you think our homeland is? You don't know? Okay, now that's huh? Okay, now we finna find out. Read.
Galatians chapter 4 verse 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free.
So it says Jerusalem, which is above, is free. Read on.
Which is the mother of us all.
So our true homeland is Jerusalem. That's right. That's where we originate from. Right. That's our true motherland as a people. But when we went through slavery, we broke God's commandments. He put us through slavery. He allowed people to put us on slave ships. We never seen our homeland, Jerusalem, that's again right. As a people. Right? What we're showing you, have you ever been back to Jerusalem? Have you been back to Jerusalem? Have you been back to Jerusalem, sir? Have you been back to Jerusalem? See, we ain't been back to Jerusalem as a people. Why? Because God is showing you that because we went through slavery, we have been cursed among all people. Right. We have been scattered amongst all people. We are proving our history, our slave trade is biblical. Right. Go back to Deuteronomy 28. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he's saying we're going to go to all these other nations to be slaves, but we're going to get there by way of slave ships. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
As a nation of people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we have not been back to Jerusalem. Read.
And there ye shall be sold.
So it says, and there, wherever them slave ships docks, we will be sold to our enemies. What? You seen the movie Roots, right? Y'all seen the movie Roots, right? Slave movies. When we got off the slave ships, what they do to us? They sold us. Look at this sign right here. What we're showing you is our history is in the Bible. Our history lines up, our life lines up with this Bible. That they same Bible that your grandma got on her dresser. They ain't never read this scripture to none of our people in church. None of them. We're showing you what? It says that we'll be sold to our enemies. Look at this sign. All our people being sold on slave auction blocks. Come on closer, come up closer. See, come up closer. Come up closer, come up closer, come up closer. When we're reading, we're identifying our slavery, these pictures, we're reading it in the Bible, right? We're connecting our history, our people back to God. It says we'll be sold as slaves when we got off the slave ships. Aren't we being sold? Right here, you see these? This is slavery. This is biblical prophecy, but we know this is history. Sis, what's going on right here? Look at this picture right here. What's going on right here?
So tell the other sister, come look.
Come up here, sis. What do you see right here? They're being sold, but what else is going on? Look a little closer. Come a little closer. What is he doing to her back? They're branding her, renaming her, putting his name, the white man's name, on your back. That's showing you that you are a product of the white man because we still got our last names. Guess what? We just read a curse. Read verse 37 real quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
A byword is getting branded as a name, getting called a name outside of your God-given name.
Right.
What we're reading, what we're seeing in this picture is a sister being branded with the white man's name on her back. Right. We're showing you that this picture is lining up with our history in the Bible. That's what we're showing, and what we're establishing, we are establishing the true Jews' history. Because this history only fits the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Get verse 68 again. Go back to 68. So this shows that our sisters, we in slavery too with y'all. So y'all can't be acting like, oh, white men treating us good. We ain't with y'all black men no more. We ain't got to respect y'all. No, y'all in the bottom with us too. Right. Don't act like y'all not. Y'all are in the bottom with us too. Right. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So God is establishing we went through slavery or slave, whatever land that we was going to. We went there by way of slave ships. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
So what we read about us being renamed, when we got off the slave ships, that's when they began that branding process, that renaming process, that they had to break us down. Read.
For bondmen.
Bondmen, slave men, read.
And bondwomen.
Slave women, read.
And no man shall buy you.
So it says no man shall buy us. What's that revolutionary sign real quick? Let me see that. Let me see that real quick. Because we had a lot of revolutionary men and women, but men that stood up for our people, that tried to stand up for our people to get us out of this condition. Look at this. Look at all these men. Got Malcolm X. What happened to Malcolm X? He was assassinated. That shows that no man can be able to redeem us from this curses. Even though he tried his best. You have Martin Luther King. He tried to redeem us too. What happened to him? He got killed. Fred Hampton, he got killed. He tried to, the Black Panther Party, that was a very revolutionary time. During this time right here, very revolutionary. Standing up for our people. He got killed in his bed, in his sleep. The so-called white man killed this man in his sleep. Police. Why? Because he stood up for his people. But God is saying no man will be able to redeem us from these curses. So why we still vote as a people? Why do we still vote? Why we still go to church and try to get involved with their society? When God is saying none of them, nobody, even the white man, cannot redeem us from this slavery. What else? We had Huey P. Newton assassinated, killed. He tried to stand up for his people. He did a righteous act, but guess what? He was killed. Why are they only killing our people when we try to stand up for our people? Why do they kill us? Why? Because it's going back to this curse that we read. No man is going to be able to redeem us. We're showing you everything we've been through in America and all over the world. We're showing you that's actually in the Bible. Now I'm going to ask you, why did it happen to us? Because I see you just walked up. Y'all celebrate Christmas?
Bring it out.
I see you got the I see you got the Christmas bag.
Bring it out.
Because remember, we went off the slave ships. They actually retaught us everything that we know.
Bring it out.
They retaught us to worship another God. Give me verse 64. Give me verse 64. Because we think that, okay, Christmas is something that is godly. Because they try to attach Christ with it, right? They think all these other holidays is godly. But you can't find that in the Bible as God is allowing us to keep those holidays. God actually has holidays that we're supposed to be keeping as his people. But in slavery, we discontinue from our heritage. And now we start doing the heritage of the white man. Read verse 64 real quick. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64.
And I'm going to test on Christmas real quick. Read on.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
So it says God is going to scatter us among all people. You see this slave trade right here? God actually scattered our people through slavery by way of slave ships. He scattered us amongst all these other nations. Read on.
From one end of the earth even unto the other.
So you will find an Israelite in every land. Why? Because we were scattered amongst all people due to slave trade. The transatlantic and the sub-Saharan slave trade. Read on.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
It says, and there, when we get off the slave ships, wherever them slave ships dock, we will learn to serve other gods. Why? Because we're actually among all people, and now we start to learn all these other people's custom. Why? Because we discontinue from our heritage. So now in us discontinue from our heritage, now we start to mingle with all these other people's heritage. And another person's heritage is Christmas.
Right.
I'm gonna show you. Read on though.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
It says now us or our fathers have known what? All these other gods. Those gods are the ones that came newly up. God's commandments was already established to our people already. But because we discontinue from that, we start to learn other gods, and now we just disregard what God says, and now we just follow what the white man says. And one thing that the white man says is Christmas. What is Christmas about? Hey bro, you celebrate Christmas?
Bring it out.
I got a question.
Before I ask your question, you answer mine. So are you celebrating Christmas? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so do you believe it's pagan? You believe it's ungodly, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now, what holiday are you celebrating to replace Christmas with? Do you know any of God's holidays in the Bible?
Some of them, but not.
Okay, no. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna establish why Christmas is ungodly, and then we're gonna replace that wicked holiday with God's holidays, right? So now, give me Jeremiah 10. Give me Jeremiah 10. Read verse 1. Read out.
Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Bring it out. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
So the Israelites, who are the Israelites? You. Who are the Israelites? You, right? We are the Israelites. The same people that went through slavery, we are God's chosen people, the Israelites. So God is talking to you, Israelites. Read.
Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
How will we be able to learn the way of the heathen? Because we were scattered amongst all these heathens. And we learned their customs. But God's telling us, don't learn their ways. Don't follow their ways. Don't follow their vain customs. Read.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Because these other nations that have gods pertaining to the nature or pertaining to the stars, the moon, the earth, and they put that fear on our people to feel like, oh, we got to be obligated to celebrate these holidays. No, God said don't be dismayed at that. Don't follow their customs. Now it's going to get distinctive about a specific custom that our people are following to this day. Read.
For the custom of the people are vain.
It's vain. The custom that we're about to describe, it is vain to our people. It does not benefit our people. It's only going to destroy our people. Read.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
I want y'all to pay attention. It's getting descriptive about this custom that is vain, that our people should not be learning. It says one cut a tree out of the forest. Read on.
The work of the hand of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
So they take this tree that they cut out the forest and they decorate it with silver and gold. What holiday does that sound like? Christmas, don't it? Didn't God say learn not the way of the heathen? Didn't God say do not entertain these other nations and their customs? God is telling you we cannot celebrate Christmas because it's a sin. It is a sin. Read.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree.
So now, give me Revelations 11 and 10. So now, let me establish why they even start celebrating Christmas as far as the so-called white man. What their evil intentions are behind it. All right? Because what you don't realize is that these other holidays is actually a disrespect or a mockery of our people. Now I'm going to show you about Christmas. Verse 10.
Revelation chapter 11 and verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth,
which is the other nations, the heathen, that we are told not to learn their ways, those people that dwell on the earth, read on,
shall rejoice over them.
The them is the Israelites, our people. Why are they rejoicing over us? Because they're successful in putting God's chosen people in slavery. That's why they are rejoicing. And now that rejoicing, let's see what they're doing. Read.
And make merry, and shall send gifts.
It says what?
And make merry and send gifts.
What that sound? What holiday that sound like? You're married and you send gifts one to another. What holiday does that sound like? Christmas, right? God is saying this is why we shouldn't even celebrate it. One, and go against God. But two, actually, Black Friday was a slave market. Even the after Christmas sale is a slave market. So now we over here we are partaking in breaking God's Sabbath because a lot of all them Christmas sales and Black Friday, that's going into breaking God's Sabbath day. Because we shouldn't be doing that. They're celebrating the fact that they put you guys in slavery. His greatest people on the planet. So we should not be celebrating. This is why. Actually, Black Friday was a slave market. Even the after Christmas sale is a slave market. So now we over here we are partaking in breaking God's Sabbath because a lot of all them Christmas sales and Black Friday, that's going into breaking God's Sabbath day. Because we shouldn't be doing that. They're celebrating the fact that they put you guys in slavery. His greatest people on the planet. So we should not be celebrating. This is why. Read.
Sirach chapter 33 and verse 7. Bring it up. Why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day is in the year of the sun?
So it says, why? What makes a day special? What makes a day more special than another day? Read.
By the knowledge of the Lord, they were distinguished.
So God is the one that created days. He's the Ancient of Days. So he's the only one that has the power to say a day is a holiday and a day is a regular day. But when we put the so-called white man in the place of God and let them pick which day is a holiday, what are we doing? That's idolatry. That shows that our God is still the white man. But God is the one that established days based off what? His laws, statutes, and commandments. Now we're going to get into a day that he established for our people to keep around this time. 1 Maccabees 4:59.
Bring it out.
Give me that real quick. Because we are bringing our people back to our heritage because we lost it in slavery. Right. And a part of our heritage is the holidays that God called us or made us to celebrate. Read verse 59.
1 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 59. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, which the whole congregation of Israel ordained, that the day of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year.
What we're establishing is the Feast of Dedication, which is Hanukkah, right? Our forefathers dedicated the temple back to our God because it was the Greeks that took over our temple. So now in us doing that, we dedicated that back to God. We made a holiday. A holiday of what? Give me 2 Maccabees 1 and 18 now. Now let's see how long this holiday ends. Let's see how long it is. Oh, I didn't forget your question. I didn't forget your question.
I hit it, bro.
I hit your question? All praise the Most High. So you know your nationality. All praises. So now, after you know our nationality, it's requirements that we must do as God's chosen people, the Israelites. But this is one requirement. Read.
2 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 18. Therefore, whereas we are now proposed to keep the purification of the temple upon the 25th day of the month, Caslu, we thought it necessary to certify you thereof, that ye also might keep it as the Feast of the Tabernacles.
So now, it's established in Feast of Dedication or Hanukkah, and we'll model it after the Feast of Tabernacles, which is the length of days. Now we got to see how long is Tabernacles. This is going into another holiday that God gave our people. Go to Leviticus 23. Go to Leviticus 23 and 39. Give me that. Because we got to see, now it says the Feast of Dedication is actually being modeled after the Feast of Tabernacles, right? So now we got to read about the Feast of Tabernacles, right?
Verse 33. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles.
So we just read about the Feast of Tabernacles in the book of Maccabees, right? That the Feast of Dedication will be modeled after the Feast of Tabernacles. So now we're going to get as far as the length of days, how long the Feast of Dedication lasts. We're going to get that based on what the Feast of Tabernacles says. Read on.
For 7 days unto the Lord. On the first day shall be a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
So it says the first day of the Feast of Dedication and also Feast of Tabernacles is a Sabbath. It is a holy convocation. What is the laws pertaining to the Sabbath? Do you know?
No buying or selling.
No buying or selling. Read. Okay, go ahead. What else? Rest. What else?
Congregate.
Congregate. Okay, what else?
That's all I got.
Okay. So we're going to show y'all the Sabbath day is more than just not resting. But it's saying that the first day of the Feast of Dedication is a Sabbath. It is a holy convocation, meaning a holy gathering. You must gather with believers that believe in God's commandments and actually apply God's commandments, right? And it says no servile work. We can't go to work on the first day of that, which is Thursday night. We can't go to work on that day. Why? Because we're honoring our holiday according to God.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word.